Hello my dear students, welcome back to the 10th standard English classes. My dear student, in the last class we had discussed about the first part of the poem, The Quality of Mercy. In this class we are going to study the second part of the same poem, The Quality of Mercy. My dear student, I would like to glance once again what we discussed in the last class. In the last class we came across a few things about the introductory part of the poem, like the introduction part of poetry, William Shakespeare, and where was he born, when was he born, what were his contribution to the English literature, and then the introductory part of or the preliminary part of the poem Quality of Mercy, and how did it take a link between a play of William Shakespeare, which was known as The Merchant of Venice, and the characteristics or the characters of the play, like Antonio, Bassanio, Portia and Shylock, and how the relationship went on throughout the play. So that these were the things what we discussed in the last class, and finally we came to know that according to some lyricists it is not a poem. They say that it is not a poem. It is a dialogue made by Portia, one of the main characters of the play or drama of William Shakespeare, that is Merchant of Venice. And then when Portia and Bassanio were ready to get married, so that Bassanio he failed to arrange some money to get married. So that he asked money to his closest friend Antonio, who was a merchant in Venice. Then Antonio, since he did not have a sufficient or enough amount to give Bassanio, he asked money to the money lender of the village, Shylock. So Shylock, since Shylock and Antonio were not closest friend, and there was some little indifferences between these two personalities, Shylock did not like to give money to Antonio. But finally, on certain condition, Shylock decided to lend money with a proper condition. The proper condition was Antonio should give or return the money within the 3 months to Shylock. If Antonio fails to return back the money to Shylock within the stipulated time with interest, then Shylock will have all the right to take a 1 pound flesh from the body of Antonio. Unfortunately, Antonio failed to return back his money with interest to Shylock. So that is why, according to the certain condition, Shylock was ready to take a flesh from the body of Antonio. But Bassanio and Portia did not like the condition of Shylock, so they decided to take this case to the court. So when they were presented in the court, Portia argues to show concern on. Portia argues to Shylock to show concern or mercy or pity on Antonio. But Shylock did not accept. So this was the thing hidden through this poem, Quality of Mercy. How Portia argues and how she presents in the court. This is actually kept in the poem. Dear student, in the last class we have completed these parts, and also I have read out the 2 model reading in the last class. Now let us go through the explanation of the poem. See, as I told earlier, this poem is kept for your memorization with carrying of 4 marks, and you should listen carefully. And also I told in the last class to list out some new words. Got it? Dear students, did you make any new words? Very good. Good. Now here I have also made some new words here. Let me introduce these things. So first thing is See here, the new words as I listed out from the Quality of Mercy written by William Shakespeare. Now we are the second part of the poem. What it is? The first new word is strained. What is that? Strained means forced. Then forced or compelled. Forced or compelled. And then drop it means drops. Ani 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 bidu. And then blessed. Blessed means blessed. Blessed. Got it? Then see, blessed is the old English word. Blessed means old English word. Then scepter. Scepter means a decorated steel rod carried by a king or a queen as a symbol of power. Scepter means, dear student, listen once again, it is also given in your glossary part. A decorated steel rod carried by a king or a queen as a symbol of their power. And then see here, temporal. Temporal means worldly power or materialistic power. And then majesty. What is that? Majesty. Majesty means what? The royal power. Royal power. And then doth. Dear students, here we come across so many old English words, isn't it? See, the new English word for those things, this is also one of the old English words which we find in this context. Doth, it means does. Doth, old English, it is new English, does. Dread, dread means threat, means fear. And then enthroned, enthroned means seated. What does it mean? Seated. Then attribute. Attribute means character or quality. Athava lakshana. Then likest gods. Likest gods means like that of God. Like a God. Then seasons. Seasons means tempers. Seasons, tempers. Then awe. Respect with fear. Respect the king with some fear. That is called and then scepter sway. Scepter sway. What does it mean? Powerful rule. Powerful rule. So these are the some of the new words or difficult words, dear students. Now you should also go through the dictionary and find if you find any new words or difficult words, go through the dictionary and find you will get the synonym or meaning of the new words. Now come to the poem. See, William Shakespeare written this poem, Quality of Mercy. This is for memorization. Read the text. The quality of mercy is not strained. Dear student, strained means what? Strained means forced or compelled. Means the quality of mercy is not strained. That means it should not be come from force. It should not be come from force, so that it should come naturally. It should come naturally. What should come naturally according to the poet? Poet says here, poet is going to explain the quality of mercy through the character of Portia. So now Portia is presented in the court and she is presenting how quality is and what quality should be. What quality of mercy should be. So these were explaining before the judge in the court. The quality of mercy is not stained. Portia says that the quality of mercy should not be come from any outer force. Say, dear student, if we want to show any courtesy or concern to the needy person, it should not be come from any outer force. It should come naturally. So just like that, the quality should be come from naturally, should be come from as it is from the heart. And she also says that it should not be come from any outer force or any other things. It drop it as a gentle rain from heaven. It drop it. See, what does it refer here? Dear student, it refers that, yes, quality of mercy. Mercy should drop it. Drop it means what? As I told, drop it, drops. See, this quality of mercy, this pity should be dropped. Should be dropped as the gentle rain from heaven. So dear student, just observe here. How does rain come from the sky? How does it come? Yes, it comes naturally. See, so there are so many farmers. More than 80% of the people are depending upon agriculture in our country. See, how do they feel about rain? Whenever the rain comes, they feel very happy about that, isn't it? Whenever the rain fails to come, they feel very sad about that. But these farmers, they used to pray so many times to get or to fall rain. But the rain should not come, isn't it? The rain comes naturally when the time of rain comes, isn't it? So the rain comes naturally as the time comes to it. So just like that, here the mercy should be like that. The mercy should come from heaven naturally, isn't it? See, as the rain comes naturally, likewise here the mercy should also come from naturally. Like rain. Here we can also observe one comparison, isn't it? The mercy is compared to the gentle rain from heaven. See here, dear students, we can observe one figure of speech in this line. Come to the second line, drop it as gentle rain from heaven. Here we can observe one figure of speech. What is that? The figure of speech of a simile, isn't it? One figure of speech is there, that is simile. Dear student, what is called simile? Simile is one of the figure of speech where we can use to compare between two objects by using as, like, so, and it should always direct the comparison between two things directly by using as, so, like. So this is called as the simile. Here we can observe in the second line, it drop it as the gentle rain from heaven. It refers that mercy. Mercy is directly compared to the gentle rain. Got it? So it is covered in simile. Dear student, Portia argues in the court that the mercy should not be come from any outer force and it should be like the gentle rain from heaven. It should not be any kind of outer force. Got it? Yes. Upon the place beneath, it should come. See, like rain comes from heaven on the earth. Likewise, the mercy should also come to the humankind. Naturally. It is twice blessed. It blessed him that gives and him that takes. It again refers to mercy. The mercy should always be twice blessed. See here, the poet says it is twice blessed. Blessed means what? Blessed means blessed. It is twice blessed. Twice means double blessed. See, what is the double blessed here? The student, you should observe one thing. If I show any mercy to the person X or Y, isn't it? I will be blessed by the God, and then the X or Y, the person X or Y will be blessed by the God, isn't it? It is nothing but giving and taking policy. It is on the basis of giving and taking policy. It is twice blessed. It is double blessed. If we show mercy to the needy people, I am blessed, or we are blessed by the God or the people, and He will also be blessed by the God or the people, isn't it? If I show any mercy to the needy person, then He will also show mercy on me. It is nothing but a giving and taking policy, isn't it? Vice versa. Twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives. See, it is nothing but it is giving and taking policy. It is twice blessed to the two people who gives mercy or who shows the mercy and who receives the mercy. It is twice blessed to the two people, giver and receiver. Isn't it? Receiver and giver, these two people will be blessed by the God. Isn't it? So that is why it is twice blessed. The poet says that the mercy always twice blessed. Got it? See, here we can also give one example, dear students. See, when we go to the freedom movement, Indian freedom movement, see, after Mahatma Gandhi entered to the freedom movement, see, there were so many changes taken place. Got it? See, Mahatma Gandhi, he used three weapons to get freedom from the clutches of Britishers. See, what were the three weapons? He used three weapons like satyagraha, peace and non-violence. Isn't these were the three weapons Mahatma Gandhi used to get freedom from the Britishers? See, whenever once what happened in the life of Mahatma Gandhi in the time of freedom movement, once Mahatma Gandhi stood before the British officer, then he asks him to give freedom. Then the British officer slapped on Mahatma Gandhi's cheek. Then Mahatma Gandhi did not return it back, and he did not slap him in return of that. But what did Mahatma Gandhi did? What did Mahatma Gandhi do? Just Mahatma Gandhi, he showed another cheek to slap the British officer. Just observe his mentality. Mahatma Gandhi ji showed the another slap to the British officer to slap on his cheek. So this is the nature of Mahatma Gandhi, and this is the quality of mercy. See, this quality of mercy, when Mahatma Gandhi showed to the British officer did not slap him again on his cheek. Instead of that, they were completely agreed that Indian people are very kind-hearted fellows. They agreed, and finally this is also one of the points included to the British officer to give freedom to Indian people. Isn't it? British officer did not do again, but he felt very sad about that, and they were decided to give freedom to Indian people. See, this kind of incidents happened for many times in the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Isn't it? See, this is called twice blessed. This is called twice blessed. See, in that time, Mahatma Gandhi, on the other hand, Mahatma Gandhi, one hand was blessed by the God, and the other hand, the British officer was also blessed by the God. So this is nothing but taking and giving policy of mercy. Dear student, that is why Portia argues that it is twice blessed, receiver and giver. They will be blessed both. It is mightiest in the mightiest, mightiest in the mightiest. What is meant by mightiest, dear student? What is meant by might? Mightiest. Mightiest means, what does it mean? Strongest. Strongest in the strong. Strongest in the strong. Mightiest in the mightiest in the world. Dear student, if I ask any one of you, which is the mightiest thing in the world, which is the strongest thing in the world, you may answer like that, sir, diamond will be the most strongest thing in the world. And some students say that, some student may say that, sir, iron will be the strongest. They may say according to their mental status, isn't it? So here we can say that through this poem, Portia says and argues that it is mightiest in the mightiest it becomes. So what does it refer here? It refers that again, mercy. Portia. See here, the poet William Shakespeare beautifully organized. William Shakespeare beautifully composed this poem very well. Got it? And also he explained how the quality of mercy should be. Isn't it? See, he says through the character of Portia, it should be very strong, and it should be like this: strongest in the strong, mightiest in the mightiest of the world. They should see what is the mightiest thing in the world generally when I ask you. So, see, automobile will be the mightiest thing. If you go and ask to the other countries, they may say the war and weapons and guns and some other things will be the very strongest thing. They may ask like that. But when Mahatma Gandhi showed to the British officer the another cheek of Mahatma Gandhi to stab on it, yes, that is the strongest thing. That is the mightiest thing. What Mahatma Gandhi showed. Satyagraha and then non-violence. These are all come under it mercy. Mercy is the strongest thing in the world according to William Shakespeare. According to yes, Portia. Isn't it according to Mahatma Gandhi also? So he says it is mightiest in the world it becomes. See, it becomes mightiest in the mightiest. Strongest in the strong in the world. You can also say. So no other thing is as strong as as strong as mercy according to the poet. So this is the entire first stanza describe about how mercy should be and how it is twice blessed, and then how the thing is very mightiest, how the mercy is mightiest in the might in the world. This is explained completely in the first stanza. Come to the second stanza, my dear students. Say, the throned monarch better than his throne. His sceptre shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and the fear of kings, but mercy is above the sceptred sway. See, just observe. In the second stanza, the poet again describes about the quality and virtues of mercy. The throned monarch. What is meant by throne, dear student? What is meant by throne? Throne is nothing but the royal chain. The royal chain of the king. He usually sit on the chain and he projects his administration. That is called royal chain. We can also say in Kannada, Simhasana. The throned monarch better than his crown. Crown means what? Crown means Kirita in Kannada, which shows the royal power to the citizen. See here, the poet says that the throned monarch better than his crown. The throned monarch. Monarch means the ruler. The ruler who sat or the ruler who sits on his throne or in royal chair. If mercy is seated in the heart of the king, when he sits on the royal chair, he is more better than the crown, as he said. It means if the king is seated by mercy, or mercy is seated in the heart of the king, then he will be far better. He will be far better than his crown. It means ರಾಜನ ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕರುಣೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಅವನ ಕಿರೀಟಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಬೆಲೆ ಬಾಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. It shows that, see, crown refers that the power, the supreme power of the king. So if the mercy is not seated in the heart of the king, then there will be no any use of the power of the king according to the poet William Shakespeare. Dear student, William Shakespeare says that if the king is having mercy in his heart, he will be far better than everything, even than his crown. But he also gives comparison. If the king's heart is not seated with mercy, he will not be able to do anything else. Then he is not more powerful than his crown. So that is nothing but the king's heart is not filled with mercy. There is no use of his power. So then what kind of power will he have? Like here, His scepter shows the force of temporal power. See his scepter. What is mean by scepter? See, scepter decorated a steel rod carried by a king or a queen to show his power. That is meant a sword. We can also say that a sword. So what we feel whenever the king comes with the sword? Yes, we feel fear about the supreme power of the king, isn't it? And we should not do any kind of works in that time. Got it? And we are ready to give salute to him, isn't it? And sometimes we are also ready to give namaskar to him whenever the king comes with his decorated rod or sword. So it shows that only to creation of the authority of the king or the queen who come with their royal power. Dear student, the scepter shows the force of temporal power. The scepter here, the decorated steel rod shows only the temporal power or the materialistic power of the king, which the kings used to control the citizens forcefully. Got it? So likewise, these scepter, these crown and throne are all compared as the temporal power. Temporal power, worldly power. Worldly power means the power which is not having any kind of human beings or any kind of mercy. His scepter shows the force of temporal power. His scepter shows only the force of materialistic power, that the king is coming, the king is going, and the king shows the power, royal power, and his military power. It shows only like that, only to create some fear to the people. The attribute to awe and majesty. The attribute, what does it mean? Attribute means, yes, what is that attribute? Attribute means character or quality. See here, whenever the king comes to the public with by having his sword, by having his power, by having his all kind of authoritative power, it shows that the poet says that it is nothing but the characteristics of the creation of some awful nature. Awful nature means what? Awe means respect with some fear. Respect with some fear, isn't it? The king, if the king is coming with his decorated rod, it creates only the characteristics of respect with fear. It creates some awful nature. It creates some artificial power, artificial atmosphere, so that the king is coming, so that all citizens should give respect to him. The attribute to awe and majesty. Majesty means what? It is nothing but royal power. It shows only royal power. See, these are all nothing but materialistic power and useless. These are the useless power according to the poet or Portia. The poet going to explain all these things are very useless through Portia, through the character of Portia in the court. He has created the beautiful character in the drama Merchant of Venice. That is Portia. Through Portia, the poet explains the quality of mercy, how it should be. He says that these materialistic words are useless. Then, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of king. Yes, dread means what? Dread means treat. It means fear. Wherein doth means the word English does. Wherein does sit the dread and fear of king. So these kind of materialistic atmosphere create, these materialistic atmosphere create some fearful nature in the heart of the people in his kingdom. This is the only thing which he defines as useless. materialistic, and to only to create fear of the kings to the public. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. But at the last line of the second stanza, the poet emphasizes the line, but mercy is above all these sceptred sway. Sceptred sway. What does it mean? Sceptred sway means, it's again, powerful rule. What is that? Sceptred, powerful, here, powerful rule. Sceptred sway. It shows the powerful rule, but mercy is above. The poet says that and argues that, but mercy is more powerful than all these materialistic words like throne, crown, scepter, decorated rod, and majesty, attribute of arm and majesty. See, these are all nothing but. These are all waste. And mercy is above all these materialistic words, according to the poet. He says, isn't it? See, here we can also say, we can also give, dear student, we can also give one example from Kannada poem. There is a poem in Kannada, that is Punyakoti. Isn't it? See, what happens in Punyakoti at the end of the poem? See, when the Vyagra or wild animal asks the cow or Kamadhenu or Govinabadu to come back, isn't it? To come back from the house after feeding its kid. So initially, the Vyagra or the wild animal, the tiger, was ready to eat that. But the cow requests the Vyagra not to eat now, so that it would go to home and wanted to feed its kid. So as soon as feed it out, then it says that to return back to the forest. Then the Vyagra could eat the cow. See, after that, the cow comes back from its home to the forest. So when Vyagra observes all these things, then Vyagra, it says that, what does it say? Yes, it says that it is not worthful thing, and finally it decides that to kill itself by jumping out of the mountain, top of the mountain. Yes, it committed suicide at the end of the poem. So that is the quality of mercy that the cow has. And finally, these two were twice blessed each other. So this is also one of the best examples in all the things. Got it? Dear students, now the poet in the last line of the second stanza argues that the mercy is above all the materialistic world. The mercy is all the materialistic world. Yes, we should observe and we should agree about that. See here, in the last stanza, the poet emphasizes that how much mercy should be and where mercy should be. It is enthroned in the heart of the kings. It is an attribute to God Himself, and earthly power doth then show likest to God's when mercy seasons justice. See, in the last stanza, the poet describes very beautifully. See, the kings are the chief of any kind of administrative field. The chief or the head of any kind of administrative field should have mercy in their heart. If they have mercy in their heart, they will become God in their life. They will become God in the life of the subordinate workers of the field. See how very beautifully it describes. It is enthroned in the heart of the king. What is meant by enthroned? Dear student, enthroned means seated. When it is refers that again, it refers that mercy. When mercy is seated, enthroned, filled with the heart of the kings, the poet argues, if the kings are having mercy in their heart, in the heart of the kings, are not only kings, here the poet is directly telling to the kings, but it can be applied for all the administrative heads of the world, all kind of organizations. My dear students, some of the heads in some organizations of the world, they do not have any mercy in their heart. Directly they used to give order to the subordinates. Instead of knowing their actual things what had happened in their life, directly they give order for the things. But the poet says that here all kind of heads and the chief of organizations must have the mercy in their heart. If they have mercy in their heart, see what they will become? Exactly, they will become, yes, God to the subordinates of the workers or the people in the administration. It is an attribute to God Himself. See, very beautifully, if the kings are having mercy in their heart, definitely these normal or common kings will definitely become gods. Definitely, isn't it? Yes, it is an attribute again, the character of God. Yes, and earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. The earthly power, the materialistic power, does then show likest gods. See, all when the mercy is seated in the heart of the kings, the materialistic things what I listed out earlier in the previous stanzas, like throne, crown, scepter, and see power, majesty, awe, and supernatural superpowers like military, all these materialistic things according to the poet will definitely destroy according to the poet, and these materialistic power will be the likest God, will be the power of God. Yes, will have God's power. Will then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Then when mercy seasons means tempers, then definitely these materialistic words, materialistic things will become supernatural power or God's power. Then God definitely will rule. God definitely will rule the entire kingdom by showing mercy to all humankind. Then mercy seasons, definitely mercy tempers, that is justice. Mercy is mercy, justice. Mercy, exactly, mercy seasons justice. Then mercy, what happens? Mercy tempers in justice. See, when the kings are having mercy in their heart, definitely, yes, the kings will give a proper justice. Then mercy will work in the justice, isn't it? So this is about the thing, dear students. Then these kind of kings who will be ruled by having mercy in their heart, patronized by people as God. So that is why the poet argues through the character of Portia, mercy is the greater virtue than everything in the world. Mercy is super power than everything. Mercy is greater than everything. Mercy is above all the things. So this is actually a poem, dear students. so that I hope that all of you understood today's poem. And this poem is prescribed for memorization, and you should memorize this poem carefully. If you find still any kind of new words, go through the dictionary and find out the meaning of the new words. And then you should write 3 or 4 times this poem in your exercises and work hard. And finally, I hope that you understood this poem very well. And remaining things will be discussed in the next class. And we will meet with the next lesson. Until then, take care. Bye.